Hello and welcome to I Can't Believe This Got Greenlit, a show where we discuss movies from our childhood, our nostalgia from watching them as kids, how they got made, and our experiences rewatching them as adults. I'm one of your hosts, Nick Warner, and joining me as always, Matthew Pelton.
Hello, Nicholas Warner.
Dude, we are back with no guests this week.
Just
it's
us.
the week after spring break.
The way it should be.
The way it should, well,
No offense.
we love our guests.
There's a seat over here.
We love our
but
guests.
it just feels better.
Right. Today, we got to jump right into it because there's a lot to talk about with this one. It's a big movie. We're taking a trip back to the swamp, but not to talk about Kermit this time. We're talking about
much better movie this
our
time.
favorite Scottish ogre, Shrek. Dude.
You know what's weird? Okay, so it was my choice this week for a movie.
Yeah.
And
it really ended up being both of ours.
Well, yeah, that's true. But we have like a big notepad of all the films that just
Right.
keeps growing and growing and growing. And I noticed that Shrek was on it.
Yeah.
And we're 37 episodes deep.
Dude.
How have we not covered Shrek?
I don't know how we've covered like shorts, but not Shrek.
We covered the straight. Dude, we did spaceships before Shrek. That should have been
this
a crime.
season 2,
That's unacceptable.
it's crazy.
Space chimps.
Spaceship.
Absolutely not.
Well, there may or may not be a reference to spaceships in this episode.
I will walk. I will walk out.
We will get there in a second. But yeah, so we're talking about the movie from 2001, Shrek. Everyone knows it. Well, maybe not everyone loves it, but I love it. We're going to talk about it today. Let's jump into childhood stories because I feel like this one, at least for me, actually, no. You know what? You start because you this was your choice this week.
Okay, that's fair. So obviously Shrek has just been a staple because I was born in 2001.
Right.
So Shrek has been alive as long as I've been alive.
Exactly.
Shrek has just been around. So I was actually, because I don't have any specific memory, so I was on the phone with my dad.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, what's the deal with Shrek?
Yeah.
And because it came out in 2001, specifically this one, it was my brother's favorite.
Ah.
And he played this movie like 8 million times a day.
Okay.
Like he loved Shrek.
Yeah.
And I couldn't speak. So
Okay,
I like
right.
Shrek, but I was like almost too young, you know what I mean? So it was basically my brother's thing. So because of him, I watched it a lot just growing up. So it's just constantly in my brain.
Yeah.
But it turns out, you know how like back in the day, I don't know if they still have them because I don't have DVDs anymore.
Sure.
But there's like the scene selection.
Yeah.
So my brother had this one scene. That's his favorite scene of all time.
Okay.
Best scene in any movie to ever exist.
Uh-huh.
And it's the scene where they're in the castle and they're trying to like escape the dragon.
Yeah.
My brother was all into that. And when he watched the movie, he would watch that scene and be like, again.
Oh.
My dad would have to rewind it. And he'd be like, again.
Like 2 minutes?
Yeah.
It was just like the
Just
same 2 minutes over and over.
and over again.
Whoa.
He loved that scene.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Dang.
That was my brother's youth, was that right there.
Just that one scene.
Just that one, not the movie,
That's
just that one
crazy.
scene. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, Shrek was big. Shrek was a big one.
Yeah, no, same. I was gonna say for me, it's more just like cultural osmosis. Like this movie, it just again existed my entire life. It came out a year before I was born, and like
I'm older,
just because.
cooler.
All right, well, cooler. We'll see.
Sexier,
But,
the whole thing.
okay.
Charming.
Right. I got the green shirt on this week.
Okay.
Though. You know what? I'm repping our boy Shrek. So no.
I forgot to wear green.
I know. I had to bring it up somehow. No, but it's one of those things where it's just so in the zeitgeist of everything that I just have seen everything. Growing up, going to theme parks, they had the Shrek 4D like experience.
Well, yeah,
thing.
which even I've done.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And I guess really the one actual genuine story, other than just I've seen this so many times and it's been around forever, is actually pretty recently. January of 2023, 1 month before this show started. Maddie and I took a trip to Orlando to visit one of our friends, Gracie.
Okay.
We went to Universal, and they have a meet and greet with Donkey. And
Eddie Murphy was there?
Dude, it's a voice actor, sounds just like him.
That's sick.
And he like interacts with you, and they have like, they have like a little camera so we can see you, whatever.
Sure.
And dude, this guy embarrassed me so bad. Because he goes, oh, like, who are the lovely ladies? And it was Maddie and our friend Gracie. And I was like, oh, it's my friend, it's my girlfriend. He's like, oh, girlfriend. And so he made me hold Maddie's hand in front of the entire line, in front of everyone, and scream out loud, I love you, baby. And he just kept going. And he goes, say it again. I go, I love you, baby. And then we just kept going. And
That's awesome.
Dude, it was so great. But by the end, I think I have a video of it somewhere, or at least I have pictures of me holding her hand. And it's like we were holding it and we were like standing far apart, so Donkey was in the middle of us.
Perfect.
Dude, it was great.
No,
it was amazing.
Can we make a pact
I was
right now?
crying by the end of it.
If you have the video, it has to go on the Greenlit Instagram.
Okay.
By the time this comes out.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, deal. Consider it done.
Yeah, so that's like the one genuine story I have from pretty
Shrek
recently.
story.
Again, it's just one of the one of the largest movies of our
Well,
childhood.
that's the weird thing is like, okay, this movie franchise was ginormous.
Yeah.
Especially in like the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Ginormous. And then for some reason it became like the weird meme that it is now.
Right.
You have like Shrek is Love, Shrek is Life
Oh
that
my
came
God.
out.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, it was
Until
years
just
ago.
now.
It was huge. And it's just become like a weird joke.
Yeah.
But not like the movie is a joke, just like just Shrek.
Yeah.
It's become a weird cultural thing.
Got memed on.
He's got memed
so
on.
hard. Yeah.
For some reason.
And
I don't know why.
Yeah, I'm not really sure because even if you watch like the sequels, there's not. I mean, I guess there is stuff you can meme on of like, oh, he farts and like whatever.
Yeah.
And the movie opens with him in the potty. Like, I don't know. Like, I kind of get it where he's just like this dirty, grimy dude.
Yeah.
But then it's like, I don't know. It just really took off.
It really took off.
In the meme world.
Yeah, and we've had like other movies that are kind of similar on this show of kind of like, hey, farting is the joke or whatever.
Sure, yeah.
And those are way worse and deserve to be clowned on pretty bad.
Yeah,
you know what I
agree.
mean? And no one's talking about them.
Yeah. It's
Space
crazy.
Jams. Looking at you, Space
yeah.
Jams.
Well, we'll get there right now. Let's go into production.
Okay.
So this movie was directed. Okay, let me just say this. And again, this movie's massive. There are so many players in the Greenlit world that
in this,
dude. That that just have like worked on the movie. Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll get to so right now. So directed by a guy named Andrew Adamson and Vicky Jensen. So Andrew was the guy who directed Narnia.
Oh no way!
Yep.
He's back.
And was the VFX supervisor on Batman and Robin.
Damn.
Yeah. So we got him. I believe Vicky Jensen is she directed a couple other things. I'm pretty sure she directed something that we're going to cover in the future, so I'm not going to bring it up yet.
Interesting.
Yeah, we'll get to that at
What's
a
her
later,
name?
later point. Vicky Jensen.
Okay, so remember the name Vicky Jensen.
You will not, but I know
I most definitely will not. I will leave this room and forget what Shrek even is.
There you go. So this was produced famously by Aaron Warner.
Oh,
Heck yeah.
Your dad.
Cool last name.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Katzenberg and John H. Williams. Who does that sound vaguely familiar?
Well, there's John Williams.
Do you remember literally 2 weeks ago? John H. Williams is the main producer on Space Jam.
No, it was not.
Yeah. Brought him up on the show 2 weeks ago.
This man has the most up and down career
I know.
of all time. And his name is John H. Williams.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
I know. And
Poor
literally
guy.
in his Wikipedia is not to be confused with John Williams.
Does it actually say that?
First line. Okay.
That's such a bummer.
Now, I want to talk to you for a second about the logistics of our Greenlit Hall of Fame.
Okay.
Because Jeffrey Katzenberg is technically in our Hall of Fame as
is he
of
five-timer?
now. I think 6.
What? What's his 6?
But because he was an executive at Disney, so I don't know if you even count that.
Oh, because he's going to pop up every single time.
That's what I'm saying. So let me just read you his credits. So Jeffrey Katzenberg, he is the guy who dropped out of Disney to start DreamWorks with Spielberg and
I remember this story.
Yeah. So he was the executive in charge of production on Nightmare Before Christmas.
Okay.
He was the producer of Shrek. And then he was the executive in charge of production on Over the Hedge, Flushed Away, B-Movie, Megamind, and Turbo.
Whoa.
So it's actually 7.
7.
Yeah. So I don't know if we consider that because he's the executive. Because then would you argue that Spielberg is also technically...
in our Five-Timers Club?
Yeah, but he's not like...
Is it kind of cool to say that Spielberg is in our Five-Timers Club?
Yeah, I think so. But
That's kind of awesome.
I feel like I'd rather, at least Spielberg specifically, I'd rather do it for his directorial stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
I think Katzenberg, we can officially induct.
I think if
He's been
he
such a
only
big
produces, right?
Yeah.
I think he's in.
Mm.
I think we should count him.
Well,
welcome.
there we go, folks.
Our first Seven-Timers
Jeffrey
Club.
Katzenberg is in along with, I don't have it written down because I actually was assuming that you were going to say, nah, let's not add this guy. So he's in with Patrick Warburton, Frank Welker,
right,
and John Debney. There we go. We got our 4. Yeah, Jeffrey Katzenberg is officially inducted into the Greenlit Hall of Fame. Congratulations.
Woo!
He will be receiving a robe in the coming weeks.
Yeah, or years.
Well, yeah, you know.
We're working on it.
Right. So the score was done by Henry Gregson Williams, which I know that name doesn't sound, you are giving me a blank stare right now.
I got nothing.
And John Powell. So it's 2 people, both in Greenlit lore. It's
Really?
crazy how many people. It's Harry, not Henry. I don't know if I said Henry. Harry Gregson Williams did the score for Spy Kids, Narnia, Flushed Away. He's
happening?
1 away from being in our Hall of Fame.
He's close.
And John Powell did the score for Robots.
Damn.
Yeah. So we have a bunch of players.
This movie's loaded.
Yeah. Not to mention, this movie had a budget of $60 million.
Okay.
It grossed $492 million.
Yeah, there it is.
And that's not even including the home video stuff.
Oh, it's since 2001.
Yeah. So this film surpassed The Phantom Menace and became the fastest selling DVD ever, selling 2.5 million copies in 3 days.
Whoa.
Along with an additional 4.5 million VHS copies in the same time span.
In 3 days?
So it sold 7 million copies of home media in 3 days. Over its lifespan, it generated an additional $420 million in home media sales, bringing the total profits of the film close to $1 billion.
Oh my God.
Which is crazy.
That's almost $1 billion movie.
Almost
$60 million
And that's
budget?
not even including the rest of the franchise
Yeah,
and the
that's true.
spin-offs and the,
and even
everything.
like the theme parks, like the
That's what
40X
exactly,
theater and all that
exactly.
nonsense.
Yeah.
This is $1 billion franchise.
It's
for sure.
crazy. And I believe we've mentioned this on the show before, but you can go, this is a complete side tangent, but there is a like a vintage like thrift shop almost, where when the show shut down for Minions Land, which is so annoying that happened. Every single prop from the line, from the ride, the 3D glasses,
I remember this.
yeah, went to this place and you could buy it. And I've been there like multiple times.
It's pretty expensive.
Dude, it's like
isn't
$20,000.
Jesus.
For like, yeah,
Okay.
it's ridiculous. But it's like you have like all the cutouts of everyone,
Which is
you
pretty
have-
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
which is
really
very
cool.
cool.
You can get the 3D glasses for like 25 cents.
That's not that
So,
bad.
yeah, no, that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. You
yeah.
can go in and it's so cool. This movie was the first ever winner of Best Animated Feature at the Oscars. This thing,
Oh, really?
yeah. So the category got made in 2001,
Huh.
and the first ever winner was Shrek.
Shrek.
And if you look online, it's like they say all the nominees, and it's a shot of like an actual animated version of them, like in the audience.
kinda
And they all
cool.
have like tuxes on, and they're like,
That's
yeah.
right. They should still do that.
And
I
they
think that's a
win, and
fun
then they're
idea.
like, it's very funny. Yes. So now here's kind of the story of how this movie came to be, because I sent you a link last night.
Yes.
I don't know if you watched it.
I did not.
dude, it's insane.
I just saw the thumbnail.
Oh my
No,
god.
I think I out loud went, nope.
Nope. Yeah.
Yeah.
To be fair, it's like 45 seconds. So after this, you have to watch
Okay,
it.
okay. I'll watch it after.
It's crazy. So John H. Williams,
Yes. Not to
producer.
be confused with John
Williams, right.
Yeah.
first got the rights to the book, because this is based on a book called Shrek.
Oh.
Yeah. it's literally
Oh,
Shrek.
hence why there's a book opening.
Yeah.
Okay,
exactly.
that makes more sense.
Yeah. And also the thumbnail that you saw is very closely related to the original design of the
What Shrek actually looks like.
Yeah.
Oh,
Very
interesting.
creepy, weird.
Is it a picture
ogre
book?
dude. I believe so.
It is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. So he brought it to Jeffrey Katzenberg to make into a movie, and the initial pitch for the movie was based yet again on the ideas of John H. Williams' kid.
Again?
Again.
Stop. Well, I want to say stop doing this, but
Hey.
this might be a different case.
This one rocks pretty hard. Okay. So Steven Spielberg, before founding DreamWorks, also bought the rights to the books. This is before Williams had the rights.
Spielberg had it.
first had the rights to the book.
Okay.
And he wanted to direct the movie.
Spielberg would direct
Directed
Shrek.
Shrek. Yeah.
I would pay so much money to
And
see
it would have
that.
starred, get this is the original cast for
Okay.
the movie. Bill Murray as Shrek
Yes.
and Steve Martin as Donkey.
Dude, are you kidding?
And Spielberg directing.
That's wild.
Insane. So, flash forward. When Katzenberg eventually gave Andrew Adamson the job to direct, they fought about who the film should appeal to. Katzenberg wanted both the adult and the child audience,
Sure.
and Adamson wanted to go full throttle adult,
Oh.
making sex jokes and Guns N' Roses references just throughout.
No, that would have been
insane.
really weird.
It's also
more.
more. The original idea was more based on that original concept, and we'll get to that in a second. The
Okay.
video I sent you.
Yeah.
So, yet again, I believe this came up last week. Nicolas Cage being offered the role of Willy Wonka.
Oh yeah. That's
and
true.
he dropped because he was bored.
Yes,
Right.
which is hysterical.
So the original person that was offered the job for this movie, Nicolas Cage, was offered the role
Seriously?
of Shrek. Yes. But he turned it down due to not wanting to look like an ogre, even though it was
it was
animation.
animated.
Yeah. Because he thought that's how his kids would view him, like in
As
real
a
life.
big,
Yeah.
ugly, scary ogre.
Yeah, and then he also turned. So this is 2 back-to-back weeks where we covered a
Dude.
movie where he's offered the role initially, and he just turned it down.
This is also the guy that for better or for worse, I think it's awesome. But he doesn't turn down anything.
I know.
He does everything.
No, he made a movie about him.
Yeah,
like,
he
just
did.
about, like, how insane his life
Which
is.
is awesome. It's
great.
But he won't do Shrek.
I know. I don't understand.
I feel like that's
it.
a big mistake.
Yeah.
Like, when this came out, he was like, man.
Yeah, it's
rats.
insane. So, comedic actor Chris Farley. Are you familiar with Chris Farley? Yeah, okay,
of
great.
Course.
Was cast as Shrek originally. This is like the famous
I know
story.
about
yeah.
this. Yeah.
And recorded almost all of the lines of dialogue before dying tragically in 1997, which is very unfortunate because he was amazing. And the studio asked his brother to finish the line, but his lines, and the brother refused out of respect for his. Yeah,
interesting.
Right.
Now, have any of those been leaked?
Farley's has.
Yeah,
actually
You can
pretty
hear it.
recently. Yeah.
Oh, no way.
They just had. There's an episode of this podcast I like with Andrew Santino, another comedian.
Okay.
It's called Bad Friends, and he brought on oh God, who very famous actor. I'm forgetting his name, but he worked very closely with Chris Farley.
David Spade?
David Spade.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. Wow, that was a good call. That was a good poll. Did you listen to that episode?
No, I just know those two were
yeah,
like,
wow,
very
okay.
intricate. Yeah.
Wow, that was great.
Yeah,
that
it's
just blew my
whatever.
mind.
It's
Yeah.
whatever, yeah.
So he was on the show, and he
Okay.
basically was talking about how it was very recent that he that the lines got kind of leaked.
Got leaked.
And it was interesting.
Did you get a chance to listen to him?
I did, and it was very Chris Farley. Like
Was
it
it?
was completely different than
Oh, I'm
the vibes
sure.
now.
Yeah.
It was a lot more grungy and like more comedic, but grungy comedic.
Okay.
Like if that makes sense.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's a completely different vibe.
Completely different vibe.
Now,
And if you watch the video that I sent you,
yeah.
it's that, but with Chris Farley's voice, and it's just terrifying. Like it's so strange.
Now I know it's kind of hard to even say this because
Yeah.
it's leaked lines and like a test footage versus
Yeah.
like a fully finished film. But if you could ideally, let's say you were in development for
Sure.
this, and you could pick the Mike Myers version or the Chris Farley version.
Mike Myers.
Oh, you would?
Yeah, as much as I love Chris Farley, the animation and we'll get to this in a second,
Sure.
but they wanted to do it fully CGI, which is the thing I sent you, and it
yeah.
2001 did not look good.
It would not have aged
Did
well.
not
especially.
look good. Yeah, it was pretty rough. Even some things, and we'll get this later, but even some things in the actual Shrek that we had don't hold up. Like there's just some like
There's a couple.
Some, it's very few.
Yeah, it
but
is
I
very
caught like
few.
some like facial expressions. I'm
Yeah.
like, ooh, that's early 2000s.
Especially when it comes to like
animation.
the human characters.
Yeah.
You have a couple moments.
Right.
Yeah,
You're like,
that's
what?
true.
So they then cast Mike Myers, which I don't know why I didn't realize he was Cat in the Hat until I was doing research.
He's
I was
back.
Like, oh my God, it's the guy that we don't like.
It's our chocolate eating fiend.
Yeah,
Mike
right.
Myers.
Oh my God, yeah. So this guy, I don't know how anyone ever works with him. It blows my mind. So as soon as he came in, and now this was out of respect, to be fair, but he came in and was like, I want an entire rewrite of the entire movie. And the reason being is because he wanted to respect Chris Farley, and he wanted it to not feel like he was taking over that
that's
role,
fair.
which is nice. But when I first read that, I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
But
Like,
I
imagine
get,
writing. No,
like,
I understand it. But now get this. So he recorded the entirety of his dialogue for this movie in his normal voice, all of
Wait,
it.
really?
Yes, and then he asked to redo everything in a Scottish accent.
Oh.
Which the studio agreed to after Katzenberg saw a sample of the accent and thought it would make the movie better, but it's still the point.
Yeah, I would kill
Like,
him. I would
what?
kill him. Like he was correct.
Yeah,
Like it's way better, but
Oh my God.
Could you
It's
imagine?
a nightmare to work with.
Like even like I think we've said this before in the past, but even with our small little short films that we do, imagine like making the whole thing.
Yeah.
We shoot all of Your Mama's Pie, which is the
Right.
upcoming thing we're working on, and then one of the actors.
Can we
is
do
like,
my entire thing over?
I want to be British now, and I have to redo everything. That'd be it's months of work. That's
Oh my God.
crazy.
Yeah. It's,
Ugh.
I don't know.
Oh, Mike Myers, we love you.
Yeah, he's being fed chocolate and just,
I'll do it
just
Scottish.
going on it. Yeah, just
like,
going in.
okay.
That'll do. Just like he's just going all in. Yes. So Myers actually got a letter from Steven Spielberg after the movie was finished, thanking him for his dedication and care to the character.
Wow.
So he was like, even though it was kind of a pain in the ass to like get, redo
You were right.
everything, you were right. Like,
Yeah.
and he respected that. So
Got to
he sent him
rewrite
a letter.
and figured out the accent.
Yeah, it's crazy.
He did play a big part in this, to be fair.
Yeah, and like I
major
mentioned
credit.
before, this film started as a fully CGI film, and even got as far as a full test, which you can watch on YouTube.
Yeah.
And they actually have an interview with the production designer who helped
Oh.
do the test.
Sure.
And he basically said that the studio didn't like the dark, scary route that they were going down, and eventually just scrapped it. And they fired like 50 to 60,
Oh.
including him. So the guy that got fired then did an interview that was like, yeah, we were going to do it for Chris Farley and make it dark and scary, whatever. And then I just got fired.
I'm kind of...
and they started over fresh. That's kind of
like, to watch the Chris Farley version of this will be pretty interesting.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of happy it's not the dark, more adult-rated Shrek. I feel like this was definitely the smarter move.
Because I feel like also then you can't do as many spin-offs and
not even
franchise stuff.
For sure.
It's a one-off. And who knows if that was even going to be successful.
True.
So yes, and then we already talked about how it $1 billion. And then weirdly enough, this is the final note I have. It premiered at the Cannes Film Festival.
What?
Yeah.
Shrek?
Yeah.
No way. Good for them. Honestly, good for them.
And then, as we all know, it generated several sequels, spin-offs, and even a musical, which I sometimes forget.
Yeah,
about.
I forgot about that too.
So
how many main
production.
spin-off movies are there? Because I know you have like Puss in Boots and stuff like that.
I believe there's 4 Shreks.
There are?
Pretty sure.
Okay.
And then we have 3 or 4? I think there's 4. They're talking about doing a 5th, which was set up in
Puss in Boots: The Last Wish.
Yeah. And then I think there's 2 Puss in Boots movies? 1, 2, 3?
Either
no
two
idea. I have no idea.
3.
I know that there's a good amount, and then you have obviously the theme parks. They're building a DreamWorks land in Universal right now.
Oh yeah.
Where you can meet Shrek and Donkey in his home. They have a giant
go to the swamp?
dude. It's so cool,
We're
and it's
going.
literally to scale. It's massive.
That's awesome.
It's very cool.
I would say you also have the weird Halloween TV shorts.
Oh, what?
Almost, yeah. There's
oh, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I
There's
do know.
Christmas
yeah,
and Halloween with 20 minutes.
Yeah. Where it's all the donkey babies with the dragon. Yeah. I do remember that. Yeah. Wow,
tons.
that was a deep cut. I forgot about those. Jeez.
Dude, I know my Shrek, dude.
I know. Hey, I respect
I'm
the
not
game.
wearing green.
The
I know Shrek.
Listen. You know what? I'm a poser. You got it.
I don't need to show it off. Okay.
Okay, so going into the plot of this wonderful film, we open with the classic DreamWorks logo yet again, bringing me back. Also, last night, as of the recording of this, I saw Kung Fu Panda 4 and I saw the new logo.
Oh, yeah.
Same day I saw the old logo and the new logo, and I was so upset.
The old one is so much better.
It is so good. And I also realized, dude, in the new one, and I don't know if they changed it from Puss in Boots, they have the Croods. But they don't have Megamind, and they don't have so many classic
big ones.
DreamWorks B movie but they have the Croods. Unless the Croods is really successful.
Could be. I know they don't. Is the Croods one of those weird movies that has a Netflix show?
I don't know.
'Cause I know there's Boss Baby has a Netflix show, and I feel like there's a couple other ones. I don't remember if it's the Croods or not.
Oh yeah, okay. It made almost $600 million.
Oh, that's why it's on the logo. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Never mind.
Never mind.
It made more than Shrek. But to be fair, it came out way later.
It came out way later. Yeah, that's fair. If you inflation.
Yeah.
But what's interesting about Megamind specifically, just talking about DreamWorks for a second, is I thought Megamind was huge. Everyone our age knows it.
Right.
But when my dad listens to this. Hi, Dad. And when he listened to Megamind, he's like, I never even heard of Megamind.
What?
He doesn't know what it is.
Wow.
Yeah, and then he was listening to our episode, and he looked up the cast, and he's like, wait, what is this?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, so maybe it's just not as big as we thought it was, and that's why it's not featured.
Well,
it only just got a sequel, 2 weeks ago or something
which
ridiculous
so
like
strange.
that.
And I heard it was terrible.
I heard it was awful.
I heard it was so bad.
Awful. Summer sequels.
Hey.
It's coming up.
Okay. And also, in this logo, the S is the Shrek S. Oh, it makes me so happy.
Yeah.
It's the subtle thing.
It is the Shrek S.
So we start with a classic fairy tale being told to us by Shrek about Princess Fiona. And then he absolutely just dunks on that idea. He's like, fairy tales suck. Yeah. And he just says it'll never happen. He's like, nah. And then,
I'm out.
And then we get All-Star. He kicks down the door. Just, and it's just, it's the best.
I forgot that this was in this.
This is why it's memed on.
This is why it's memed on. And when it started, I'm like, bro.
Yeah.
Shrek just started, dude. Shrek just arrived.
Kicks down the door.
The second it started, I'm like, even if this movie doesn't age well, this will be the best experience I've had watching a movie for this show.
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah.
100%.
Oh, it was great. And he he's in his glory, in his swamp. He's
living large.
He's drinking, muck, spitting it out. He spits it out, and then it just says directed by. It's so cool.
He's making candles with his earwax.
Yeah.
He's going to town.
It's great. He's farting in the water, dude.
Why not?
It's Shrek. We're in Shrek Swamp. We are in the swamp. We're here. So he scares away huntsmen who are, on the hunt for these fairy tale creatures. for which Lord Farquaad is willing to pay. Like he wants them. He wants them out of his town. He's like, bring them to my guys. We're gonna boot them to the curb, and then we're gonna live happily ever after.
Yeah, they're out.
Yeah.
Now again, I know WCB has specific rules about what we're allowed to say on air. Are we allowed to address Lord Farquaad and why he's named that? You can probably figure it out.
Go ahead.
Right? Should I say it?
Maybe. I don't know. It's
Probably
up to you.
not.
Okay, we don't have to.
Just think about it.
Yeah.
Because it took me a long time to realize what Lord Farquaad was.
Yeah.
We just keep saying Farquaad.
Yeah.
That's the best we can do.
There you go.
Why don't you say it? See what happens.
No, I'm not risking this. You need this to graduate. So
I need this credit real bad. I ain't saying
it's more on you than on me. I'm
good.
So, yes. So several... We're going to keep saying it. Okay. Yeah. Several fairy tale characters are sold off. And Donkey's one of them. But he manages to escape where he runs into Shrek. So, like, it's like the pixie dust or whatever. And he starts flying, and then he lands, and he talks, and everyone's like, oh, my God. Then he runs away.
Yep.
And also, like, that area is not that big because he runs away like 20 feet, and Shrek's just there.
I thought about that. Like, there's just a big ogre there.
Yeah. So Shrek naturally scares off the royal guard, and Donkey realizes this is his way of being protected. He's like, you're my guy now.
I'm sticking with you for the rest of my life.
That's it. And he's like, I don't care if you hate me. I'm not scared of you, which is the thing that Shrek's like, oh.
You're not?
Yo, wow.
Yeah.
Well, let's be homies. Well, it takes like the whole movie for them to me.
It does. Yeah, it kind of does.
So yes, he doesn't leave Shrek alone, even though Shrek is bothered by him. And after learning that Donkey isn't scared of him, Shrek allows Donkey to stay the night.
Outside.
Yeah. And he has to sleep outside. Yeah. And he has his classic, waffles in the morning. In the morning, I'm making waffles.
Oh,
he has that line. Yeah.
And it's weird because, again, when that hit, I was like, oh, I forgot about that too.
Yeah. It has so many classic.
It has so many
moments. It's
like
insane.
this movie, almost potentially more than any movie we've covered. Maybe besides like early days, like Boy Who Cried a Werewolf, the lost episode.
Oh.
But besides that, this one had the most of when I was watching it. So much was coming back.
Yeah.
Like I forgot All Star was in this.
Yeah.
I forgot Waffle. I've got all of this stuff,
dude. For me, it was one of those things where like, and I don't think this has even really happened, where I watched it and it wasn't like it all flooded back. It was just like, oh, right. Like it was already there for me. Like
you know what? That's kind of true.
It wasn't just like, oh my God, I forgot about this. It was like, no, this is what happened.
That's been in my brain. It's just been like dormant.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah. But not so far back that it gets brought back.
No, you're right. That's a better way to describe it.
But it was the first time I ever experienced that, where I was like, that happened, and I was like, yeah. This rocks.
Right? It kind of does.
And also just a really quick story. So when Maddie and I first met, we went to Universal, and she was like, look at that t-shirt. It's a light blue t-shirt that has Donkey on it, and it says, in the morning I make it waffles. And this is before we were dating, but I was like, I'm gonna buy that for you. And it's like it's like the first thing that she'll like pull it out and be like, I forgot. It was like the very early stages of our relationship, and I was like, I love that.
I was gonna say, I've met Maddie a couple times.
Yeah.
I've never seen that shirt.
I know.
So what's up with that?
I don't see that shirt often.
What's going on?
So listen, that's what we all got to go to Universal together, and then she'll wear it, and then we can go meet Donkey and
deal.
Shrek at Shrek's house.
Done.
And then Donkey can tell me to project to everyone that I love my girlfriend,
or you love me.
Yeah. No, exactly.
Yeah. Come on, man. Come on. Now.
I tell Donkey we're in a love triangle. It's like, tell him you love him.
I was like, can I also make a new request?
Yeah.
That either two things, because I know Maddie listens to these, so Maddie, you can choose.
Yeah.
Either. I know she's coming up in April.
Yes.
Relatively soon.
Yeah.
When she comes up, she either has to wear the shirt the week she's here, or when we all inevitably go to Universal together, we all get matching ones.
Oh, it's not a bad idea.
Right?
It's not a bad idea.
And if they don't sell that shirt anymore, we will find one.
Yeah.
And we'll all get matching ones.
Maddie, you're probably listening to this at the gym. So I'm gonna ask you to pause this episode and text me which of these options you would rather do. Okay, she did it. Now let's back to the episode.
Now go back to the gym.
So,
Good for you, by the way.
Good, you're doing great.
Yeah,
okay,
doing great.
Continue your workout. I love you. Okay,
love you too.
So Shrek notices the three blind mice in his house, and he's like, "What are these guys doing here?" And he goes outside to find that all the fairy tale creatures have been evicted from the mainland and booted to the outskirts of town and ended up where Shrek lives. And he's like, "Get out of my swamp!
Yeah,
like this is my
home. What are you doing?"
And Shrek vows to find Lord Farquaad.
Who?
With the help of Donkey, who's the only one willing to show him the way, because he doesn't know how to get there.
Yeah.
He doesn't even know who he is. and put them back where they came from. Not out of heroics, but out of a personal want to get his home back to himself.
Yeah.
But everyone's like, yeah!
It's like the perfect setup.
Yeah. Dude. Oh. Aaron Warner, man. What a guy. So
Your dad's so cool, Aaron Warner.
Dude, he's the best. Aaron Warner, the Warner Brothers. Dude, this industry was built for me.
You're so in.
So we then meet the legendary Farquaad. I think the faster I say it, the more it sounds.
The actual name?
Yeah.
Word Farquaad.
Yeah. As he interrogates the gingerbread man, which is, again,
this was brutal.
Dude, it was crazy.
Because it literally opens and you see a shadow of him, he's getting waterboarded. I'm like, whoa.
Dude, it's great. This is one where I was like, I remember this so vividly, but
same.
how? And also, dude, also in the pre-show of the ride, I don't know if you remember this, they have the same thing where he's like on the table.
Seriously? It's brutal.
And they cut to like CCTV footage of like him. It's like like one of these things like up in the corner.
Our little security camera.
The security camera, and it like points down, and he's like, "Help me!"
Oh my god,
it's kind of a good impression.
That was surprisingly good. But I had a moment. It's one of, I think there's only like 2 other ones that came up where I'm like, that would have been so cut if this movie was made today.
I know.
Dude, a little gingerbread get waterboarded in a kid's movie. It was wild.
It's insane.
Like my heart broke for this man.
I know. This gingerbread man. But then they do like the Muffin Man thing, which is so funny.
Yeah, the scene's great.
Yeah, dude, there's so many. It's amazing.
It shouldn't be cut. I'm fighting for it. I know.
Yeah. But yeah, so he interrogates the gingerbread man about where the fairy tale creatures are, and he then figures out by speaking to the magic mirror that he can become a king by marrying Princess Fiona. They have like a little game show moment. It's very fun.
He becomes bachelor for a second. Yeah, it's very cool. Yeah.
So then Shrek and Donkey arrive at Lord Farquaad's kingdom, and they see that it's empty. And in reality, everyone is just gathered for Farquaad's announcement that he needs to marry Fiona. Yes. And there's this whole thing of like, what is it? He's like, you guys are all gonna, go out and find her. Whoever brings her back is gonna be like my champion.
Isn't it like a gladiator ring?
Yeah,
like the strongest.
Yeah, right.
And then,
So Shrek shows up and he beats up all of Farquaad's warriors, and in a quick scheme made up by Farquaad, is deemed his champion.
Yes.
He's like, you are my champion. You will now go out and get Fiona and bring her back to me. And Shrek's like, the only way I'll do that is if you give me my swamp back, like the deed to my swamp, and kick everyone out. And I just want this. So, yeah. So that's kind of the premise of where we're at. This is where we start the journey.
Perfect setup.
Dude, everything in this movie is so perfectly timed and perfectly explained.
It really is.
It's not overly explained. It's not overly simple. It's like perfectly complex, but perfectly like, it's just the perfect fairy tale. It's amazing.
And even though you have this perfect setup, as an adult, I'm watching this and I'm like, I know exactly where this is going. Yeah. Even if I have never seen this, I know exactly where this is going. But not in a bad way.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, I like this stuff. Yeah, I'm enjoying the ride. Like, I like what they've set up. Let's go.
Oh my God. It's amazing. So they go to the castle where Fiona is trapped, and Donkey annoys the hell out of Shrek the entire way there.
Yes.
Shrek is just so over this talking donkey. And I think at one point he goes, this is why Donkey should not talk. He does. Completely is like, you guys, you should not be talking right now at all.
Now, you know what's funny? I had a moment in this scene specifically.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, all the movies we've watched on this show where you have that very loud, annoying, obnoxious character.
Yeah.
But it's obnoxious for the audience. And so it's like a complaint. I'm like, this movie's hard to watch because of this character. They're all trying to be this.
Yeah.
Because this works.
I know. Well,
this is really funny.
Yeah. I was actually worried coming in. I was like, oh.
Donkey.
The one thing I think Pelton's gonna kind of dunk on is Donkey.
No.
He's like the Elliot. He's like he's the annoying character.
Yeah.
But
and to be fair, I don't know if that was all written and the writing is so good, or is Eddie Murphy.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Like improving stuff.
Legend.
Well, that's the thing. I think because it's Eddie Murphy, it works so well.
Right.
Like I was cracking up for most of this. I'm like, wait. This movie's getting me.
Yeah,
like,
it's
I like the story's getting me. It's kind of funny. I'm like, I think I'm loving Shrek over here.
It's also like, now that I mentioned Elliot, it's kind of weirdly similar to Open Season, where it's like you have there's this one character who really doesn't know the way. He's kind of the annoying character, and he's bringing the big oaf back to his home. Basically, he's like helping him find his way and get back home.
Worse Shrek.
Yeah. That's
like
wow.
way
and
worse
it's 5
Shrek.
years later, so it literally is a ripoff of Shrek. Wow. Dang. Well,
Sorry,
Figure
open
that out.
season.
Yeah. If only Patrick Warburton was in Shrek. Oh my God.
He should be.
He should be.
He's coming up. Don't even worry about it.
Yeah, well.
Shrek
yeah.
5.
Hey, listen.
Shrek 5.
So when they finally get there, they face off against a dragon who ultimately ends up falling in love with Donkey.
Who I would too.
Because like the way he like tries to get out of being killed is just like flirting with her. And then he's like, "Oh, you're a lady." And then he's like, "You're so beautiful. I love you." And it's just Eddie Murphy doing his thing. And then she's like batting her eyelashes at him, and she blows him like
adorable.
A smoke ring of a heart.
Yeah.
Oh, it's great.
Listen, Donkey's a good-looking donkey. Man.
Hey,
what can I say?
Listen, in person too. I almost started flirting.
I
with
can't
him.
even imagine.
Yeah. Dude, it's crazy. Oh, it's so.
Was
cool.
it like someone? I wasn't gonna ask this, but was it someone on like all fours?
No. He's in like a barn, and it's just like his head and neck like sticking out.
That makes sense. I thought it was just some dude
but it's like an animatronic
around.
that walks in. It's like perfectly timed up.
Oh,
and there's
that's
a dude
kind of
backstage,
cool.
Like,
Okay, that is actually pretty cool.
Very cool.
We'll meet him.
So, dude, we'll
post a picture on the Instagram.
Oh my God, we have to.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and it's right next to the ET ride too. So you have like two back-to-back like bangers.
Do you consider? That's
it's just Spielberg land. Yeah. It's crazy. Okay,
Maddie, get your tickets.
Hey, listen. So Shrek, Donkey, and Fiona escape the dragon and begin their journey home. With Fiona upset that Shrek isn't Prince Charming when she finds out that he's an ogre.
Yes.
And that he isn't going along with all the fairy tale BS that she was expecting. Because, we find out later, naturally, that, she needs true love's kiss in order to become beautiful, quote unquote.
To become like her true form.
Exactly.
Something like that, yeah.
And she makes them stop for the night because she doesn't want them to know that she is also an ogre when the sun sets.
At night.
Crazy.
Yes. Now, I will say, it's only in this movie because human Fiona never pops up again.
Yeah, right.
Spoiler alert. But I had the biggest crush on human Fiona.
Fair enough.
Stunning.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Crazy.
Even in like the game show part where she's just like, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, she's pretty.
And even I think maybe we have talked about this on the show. Maybe I purposely didn't bring up last time, but screw it. We're in season 3. I love redheads. I have a redhead thing.
Oh yeah,
I'm
aware.
Yeah, he knows. But even in Batman and Robin, remember Uma Thurman?
Oh yeah,
Poison Ivy. That was like my first crush.
Yeah.
So Fiona, I love Shrek.
Oh my
Shrek
God.
Girl, I was like, yeah,
also
man.
so funny how like in season 3 specifically, you're like, screw it.
Screw it.
Season 3, you're just unhinged.
I don't care anymore. Let's go.
Season 1, we're all like buttoned up. And season 3, we've just taken our shirts fully
Yeah,
off.
season 1's like, hello, Nicholas. How are you?
Yeah.
Season 3's like, I love redheads and Donkey's hot. You're like, what's going on?
Donkey's hot.
I mean, no. Who's Donkey? What are you talking
Dude,
about?
also we have to talk about this scene, and you referenced it earlier. Where like this would have been cut today. Where it's just the morning, and she's singing to a bird, and the bird just explodes and just dies. And it's not like it explodes and you see the feathers, dude. No, the little feet are still there.
It's so sad. This was
the
one
bird's singing with her too.
Dude, this is one of those scenes where. The rest of this movie was, how did you describe it? It was like in your brain.
Yeah.
But it was
at like
deep
the
enough.
forefront of my brain, but I'm not thinking about it every day. Yeah.
That was the rest of this movie. That scene, the bird scene, I fully forgot.
Yeah.
And then I watched it and it brought back trauma. Like that scene freaked me out as a kid. Seeing the birds just like blow up. Just like it just did not sit right. Yeah. It's still kind of like
dude, I had to rewind it because I was like, that just happened.
I know.
It was crazy. It
was
genuinely
it's just
crazy.
never addressed.
Never.
It's such a weird.
It's so strange. Okay.
Yeah, that was pure nightmare fuel.
Right. Yeah.
Little Matthew Pelton.
So they continue their journey when Robin Hood. This is the one part I forgot about.
Yeah, I forgot about
where
this
Robin
too.
Hood. Actually, no, because there was one part that I'll get to in a second that happens in this scene that I was like, yep.
Well, there's the fight at the. I remember that. Yeah.
So they continue their journey when Robin Hood comes to save the princess, or quote unquote, save the princess.
Yeah.
And she proceeds to beat up his men. What are they called? The merry
men? Merry men.
Yeah. After they sing about him, which is a crazy thing that I forgot about. It's like one of the one things, like they're singing about him is the thing I forgot about.
Yeah, same.
Like it's wild.
Yeah. Now, by the way, I love the fact that the Merry Men sing for Robin Hood.
Yeah.
But I was watching, I was like, why didn't Nick write a song for me yet? What's going on? How come every time I don't enter a room?
Season 3 finale, man.
It's coming. I'm holding you to that.
Hey, listen. It's going to come eventually, but I can't spoil when. We've talked about the episode before, but it's one that I cannot talk about because it's
Okay, that's
you know
fair.
what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
We talked about it yesterday. Okay.
There's a special episode.
Yeah.
So, whenever I choose.
Yeah, whenever you choose. Exactly. Yeah, that will be the day that I
you sing me a song.
Yeah.
Okay, so next week.
Hey, listen. Okay, so this is the scene that I remembered like so vividly, where like she jumps up and it does like the 360
It's like
pan.
the Matrix thing.
Yeah. And she like looks and it's like, you know, it's not reality. And then she kicks them. That thing was so cool.
I remember this scene.
Oh, it was great.
Listen, you have a redhead beating people up. I'm gonna remember that.
Oh, dude, you were all in.
I was all in
From day one to now.
I was born.
22
I'm like, yep.
years of being all in on this scene.
Dude, I was so in. I dated someone named Fiona. Yeah. That's how in I was.
And you've dated redheads.
I did.
Dude, you've just tried to merge your dating history to be this Fiona.
Dude, if I find a redhead Fiona, it's proposing
over.
On the spot.
It's over for everyone.
The wedding's the next day.
Okay. So we then get a montage of their journey, and we see that Fiona and Shrek are falling more and more in love. It's very sweet. They're being playful.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah,
like,
it's beautiful.
It's not like overly cheesy.
No.
It's not like it didn't age well. Like I'm like, this is so nice.
Yeah, and it's not like Donkey's a little disappointed that he's not like, you know, this main sidekick, but it's not like it's, you know, focusing on him like down in the dumps, depressed, all this stuff. It's like a beautiful montage.
Yeah.
They have a few montages in this because naturally it's like their journey, but they're all like gorgeous. Like they're all like so well
stunning.
Done. So they stop again for the night, and Fiona and Shrek agree to see each other again after she moves in with Farquaad. Because they're like, you know, in love, but she's like, I have to marry this guy. Farquaad. Farquaad. Because, you know, she's like, well, you know, I'm not going to become my true form if, true love's, you know, I have to marry this guy, but I really like this ogre.
Yes.
So I'm gonna see him afterwards.
And again, there's another moment where I was like, even if I didn't know she was an ogre at night, and she was an ogre for the rest of the series, I'm like, I still know where this is going. Like, her true form's going to be an ogre. I got it.
Sure.
But still, I'm like, I don't care, man. Like, I'm so happily enjoying this. Like, let's go.
Yeah, let's do it. So this is the part that I was like, dang, this is like really well written, because like the big miscommunication, it was so well done, like the timing of it all. So basically what happens is Donkey goes in to check on Fiona, because it's all dark and scary in the little hut she's in, and discovers that she's an ogre at night. Oh my God, big discovery. So she was cursed, and only true love's kiss can turn her quote unquote beautiful again, all that fun stuff. So meanwhile, Shrek has this big sunflower.
Oh yeah, he's gonna ask her out.
Yeah, and he's preparing to tell Fiona how much he likes her.
Oh, this Nick,
dude, shattered my heart.
Okay, this whole scene when he was like trying to hype himself up to ask her out, I was like, dog, I've been there.
Dude,
and then like when he overhears, I'm like, dog, I've been there too.
Yeah,
and he's
me too.
I love this movie.
It was so great. So I mean, heartbreaking, but like so well written, and it was so like effective.
Exactly, it was so amazing. Like kind of now older. I'm like, dude, I know what you're going through, Shrek.
Dude, Snack Shack, and then this movie back to back, like both like love story, like the heartbreak I felt, like because I've just been there. I've just
I'm like, I'm relating
too much for 1 week.
How are we relating to Shrek right now?
I know,
this is crazy.
It's insane.
Too much for 1 week.
Too much for 1 week. Both such good movies. Okay. So he accidentally overhears her and Donkey's conversation and misinterprets it, because she's like, I could never, you know, being an ogre is so ugly, and Shrek doesn't know about this whole thing. So he overhears it and he's like, oh, she's
talking about me.
And he like runs away, and he's like, all like, he's like, I'm gonna go get the, you know, Farquaad, and he's like, I'm just gonna go get, I'm sad now.
Yeah.
So the next morning, Mr. Farquaad and his men arrive at their campsite, and he proposes to her. To which she says yes, because now there is several forms of miscommunication between Shrek, Fiona, and Donkey.
It's getting bad.
And they're all upset with each other. It's all like, it's all going
because then
to
Shrek
hell.
in Fiona's eyes just insults her right to her face.
Yeah.
She thinks he's calling her ugly.
It's horrible.
Yeah, it's so, the levels of miscommunication are so bad. But I've also been there too, man.
Same. And it's just like, the second you, like, it clicks for everyone, you're like,
I was an idiot.
Yeah. Because this also happens in, I mean, not to bring up Snack Shack again, but like this happens in Snack Shack
you
too.
Love
There's
Snack
like
Shack,
I love it. There's like this big miscommunication. You're like,
yeah, hey, idiot, yeah, focus up.
It's crazy. And then we get the hallelujah moment,
which I also forgot it was in Shrek.
Dude, it's like,
it's heartbreaking.
It's incredible. So it plays as we see both Shrek and Fiona upset with the outcome, and Fiona's all upset and getting ready for the wedding.
Yeah,
just so disappointed with everything that's happened.
But I love how, but I didn't realize in this little montage.
Yeah.
And then like eventually Donkey shows up back to the swamp to basically save Shrek. but it's all within a couple hours.
Right?
It's all the same day. I was like, oh, wait a minute. This is really
Dude, the
moving
turnaround
fast here.
time on that wedding was so quick.
No joke.
He was just screaming at all the people in his town, like, guys, weddings this afternoon.
Wedding
You better be ready.
Yeah, it's in 2 hours.
Yeah. So Fiona's all ready for her wedding day. And Donkey and Shrek fight about how Donkey is treated. You know, he's all upset. He's like, you don't treat me well. You know, I want to be your friend and you're treating me like crap. And finally inform Shrek that the whole thing was a misunderstanding and that she really genuinely loves him.
Yes.
So they rush to the wedding riding on the dragon. They're
awesome.
it was epic.
Yeah.
They make it just before sunset, before their kiss happens. And so Farquaad sends his men to capture the two. Once it's revealed that Fiona turns into an ogre at night, and Donkey and Dragon break through the wall to save the day, and she eats Farquaad. And there's this moment in the pre-show of Shrek 4D where they replay that moment where like the dragon comes in, eats Farquaad, and then she goes up, and then you hear like the and like you know what I mean? But they replay, and they're like, can we get a replay on that? And they'll play it again. Oh,
really?
Dude, so I had that burned in my brain. Just like from the second that the dragon shows up to bring them there, I was like, I can't wait for this.
Oh, see, I don't remember Farquaad fully dying.
Oh, no, yeah.
He's dead.
Dude, do you know the story of the ride is that Farquaad comes back as a ghost, and he like tries to kill you.
That's
like
the story
literally
of the ride?
Kill you. Yeah.
That's crazy.
He's like, I'm going to kill you and Shrek and Fiona. I'm murdering all of you. Like no holding back. He is a ghost. Like no legs. Like the wispy little thing at the bottom. Like that's genuinely the story of the ride.
That's insane.
That's probably why they took it out. But like genuinely, like the pre-show is you're like in like the dungeon where the three little pigs are like in cages, and the cages you can buy at the thrift store for like $20,000. But like, and they have like screen projections of the pigs in the cages, and then you have the gingerbread man being tortured. Yeah, like he comes back as a ghost. He's like, "I'm going to murder you," and in this room, you're surrounded by like weapons and like big like suits of armor. Sure. It's insane.
It's so sad they took that out. Man.
I know, it was the best. So, so Fiona and Shrek finally kiss, and she goes up to change, and big magical moment, and boom, she doesn't change. She stays an ogre. She was beautiful as an ogre all along.
Not to young Matthew Pelton, but
no,
I got the message.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we cut to the future where they get married and all the fairy tale characters are there. Everyone, dude, and then we have the I'm a believer moment.
I also forgot,
dude, every single song in this, I'm like, yeah, that's a song from Shrek.
It's a song from Shrek.
It rocks.
It goes way too hard.
Donkey sings, and now I'm so curious if that was Eddie Murphy because you could tell it was a little auto-tuned. But like it was so good.
I'm gonna say
it was genuinely so good.
I watched this with a friend and I turned to her. I was like, I didn't know Eddie Murphy could sing.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, he does really well.
And he like holds the high note.
Yeah, he's like, killing it.
This is amazing. So they're all jamming. They have like sunglasses on. They're all chilling.
It's so rad. It's great. So rad.
Yes, and all's well in the world, and that is Shrek. And oh my God, this makes me want to just talk about all of them right now.
I know
because it just, in my opinion, it just gets better. Like,
I remember Shrek 2 being phenomenal.
Yeah.
I know at some point the other ones aren't as good.
Shrek Forever After, I think, is the third or fourth one, and that one's not great.
Yeah, it's not. That's what I've heard.
But what I meant to say was the second one's also really good.
Yes.
And also, dude, I don't know if you know this. I was, again, Kung Fu Panda 4 in theaters yesterday, which is probably the only reason I know this. They're bringing back Shrek 2 in theaters for the 20th anniversary, which is this year.
I kept seeing posters.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
and I was like, and in my head in the theater yesterday, I was like, oh my God.
Dude, we should
We're doing Shrek tomorrow.
We got
like every episode this season is lined up so perfectly. We had Megamind, Charlie and Chocolate Factory with Wonka coming out.
Yeah.
This.
That's true.
It's great. It's a great
We should go
time.
see Shrek 2 in theaters.
I think we should.
Is it not out yet?
I think it's coming out.
Soon, right?
In the next couple weeks.
Okay,
we got to figure it out.
We got to plan our A-list accordingly.
I know. Yeah. So, final thoughts. You want to start?
Sure.
Your week.
Yeah. I thought you said you're WEAK. You're weak. I was like, whoa, that came out of nowhere.
Final thoughts because you're a weak little
because you're a little beta loser weakling. I was like, okay, man. No. Okay, Shrek. I was a little worried it wouldn't hold up because it's from 2001.
Yeah,
and it's Mike Myers who
crazy.
was Cat in the Hat.
Yeah,
so I was a little nervous.
Yeah,
I think out of every single movie we've covered on this show. Excluding Pan's Labyrinth, because that's a real movie.
Okay.
It's not like meant for kids.
Yeah.
This might be my favorite movie we've ever covered. Dude, I love this.
I was convinced. I was trying to figure out last night because I was like, I'm really liking the time I'm having watching this movie. And then in my head, I was like, will Pelton like Megamind more than Shrek?
No.
Okay.
Yeah,
wow.
it's Shrek.
Interesting. And
I
I
was
doubt
stunned.
that anything this season will top
Probably
this.
not.
So we might have similar number ones in the finale.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for that, by the way.
I was
oh my God.
Yeah, I was stunned that even though the plot, again, you could argue is predictable, they just do it so perfectly.
Yeah.
And the humor still holds up and it's still funny for adults.
Yeah.
There's like adult jokes in there that couldn't be there now, but it's perfect that it's in there. Like it should be in there.
Yeah.
There's not a single thing I would change about this movie.
Yeah.
I think Donkey's like the best annoying character I've ever had on the show because Eddie Murphy. Mike Myers almost doesn't even sound like himself.
I know.
He sounds like Shrek.
Yeah. That just is Shrek.
It's just Shrek.
I can't go to Scotland.
Yeah, even like Eddie Murphy is not distractingly Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
Like Jerry Seinfeld was distractingly Jerry Seinfeld in B-Movie. Like every moving piece was just done as it should have been done.
And Shrek is like the perfect grumpy
dude.
Like, and he's like charming in his own way.
He's not overly grumpy. He's still got a couple of jokes that he really just makes himself laugh.
He's not like annoying.
No.
Where you're like, oh, all right, get over yourself. You're like, oh no, he like actually like he gets nervous when he goes to ask her out. Like it's like genuine. Every element of this was like so
well done,
and well thought out, and it just like the perfect amount of complexion and also simplicity because it's a fairy tale and it's meant to be pretty simple.
Oh, that was another thing is not to just keep doubling down how much I love this movie.
Yeah.
But in terms of just the world, like the fairy tale world and using all these different elements for all these different stories was so creative.
Yeah.
And how it was all done. Like just even seeing like that one shot of the wolf in the bed and like the grandma's clothes.
Yeah.
And like even how the mirror gets used. I'm like, it's just so cool.
Yeah.
Like you could tell it's all thought out. Like
it's very cool.
You know what I mean? It's very creative. Yeah. The whole thing.
All right. One final thought on Shrek. I can't believe this got greenlit. Which it feels like one of the only times I don't agree with that statement.
I can't. Yeah, I can believe it.
I can believe it.
I can't. If it was the Chris Farley one, I couldn't believe it.
Well, there you go. I think that I can't believe that one got greenlit, but I'm happy that this one got made.
Yes, I agree.
Definitely. Thank you all for listening. Tune in next week for a very special episode because I believe it's our first Spielberg, like properly directed Spielberg.
That's true.
Starring Robin Williams. If you haven't already figured it out, we're covering Hook next week. With our very special guest, Ren Livesay. I asked her how to pronounce her last name just to make sure.
Okay.
It's Angela's girlfriend, so almost back to back.
Back to back.
Yeah, it's exciting stuff. We're really, really excited to have her on. Really excited to talk about Hook. Yes, and we will talk to you guys next week for Hook with Ren.
We're going back to the swamp for now.
For now, we're gonna go hang out with Shrek.
Go hibernate,
for a while.
I'm gonna go scream to the void that I love Nick while holding his hand.
Heck yeah. We'll see you next week. Bye. Bye.